It's Saturday, it's a warm day, there are bugs flying about. I am out here because I am ready to share another story with you, and I just want to talk about it a little bit before I share that story with you. You know that last week we learned a story about Jacob and Esau, the sons of Isaac and Rebekah. All of these stories that I'm sharing with you that started with Abraham and Sarah in the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis, the very first book in the Bible, all of these stories are part of something that's called a saga, a long story. And so this one today, do you remember last week? If you watched last week's video, what was happening? There was something going on between Jacob. We learned about Jacob and Esau, the sons of Isaac and Rebekah, and we learned that they came into kind of a conflict, and it ended up that Jacob received his father's blessing, sort of by trickery, a little bit of manipulation, a little bit of pretending that he was his just older brother, and so then it caused some hardship between Jacob and Esau was very angry, and Jacob ran away and left, and everybody was pretty sad at the end of that story. And so our story begins with Jacob wandering and really not knowing where he's going. He doesn't know the way to where his mother told him to go, and some special things happen. And one of the special images that, or symbols, or special things that are that's in the story is a stone. A lot bigger than this, I would think. But a stone plays a special part in the story. Now you can think about how are stones meaningful? Where are stones used in our world, like in present day? I know if you look on the church, and if you look for something called a cornerstone, you'll see the cornerstone is kind of the base of the foundation, seen as something that helps to hold up the church. The foundation helps to hold the church up. And often there's a date written on the cornerstone, and that date is when the church was built. A special stone that marks a place, that remembers something in history, remembers something in time. So look around when you're out and about. Often there's stones with information on them, or special plaques that tell some kind of story. So in this story, a stone plays a special part and marks a place. So I am going to share this story with you now, and I wish you guys all the best this week, and have lots of fun in this warm, beautiful weather, and keep exploring the summer. All right, here we go. Jacob's dream, from Genesis 28, verses 10 to 22. Jacob was running away. He had cheated his brother and lied to his father. He was afraid. Jacob's mother, Rebekah, had told him to run to Haran, to the place where her brother Laban lived. But Jacob didn't even know where Haran was. Jacob ran and ran until he was so tired he could hardly stand up. It was getting dark, and he was afraid. Over and over he thought about what he had done. Jacob knew that Isaac's blessing meant God's promise of a great nation was now his. God had made the promise to Abraham and Sarah. Then it had been passed on to Rebekah and Isaac. Now it was his. But as Jacob stood there, alone in the dark, feeling cold and hungry, God's promise didn't seem to help very much. Finally, Jacob was so tired, he lay down on the hard ground. He put his head on a rock. Some pillow, he thought to himself. In the middle of the night, something happened. Maybe it was just a dream. Jacob didn't think it was a dream because it was all so real. Jacob was sure he saw a bright light from up in the sky. Then there were stairs that began right beside him on the ground and reached all the way up into the sky. There were angels on the stairs, Jacob told his children many years later. Angels going up the stairs and angels coming down. At the very top, there was God. Then God spoke to me, said Jacob. God said, I am the God of your grandparents, Abraham and Sarah, and of your parents, Isaac and Rebekah. The promise is now yours, Jacob. You will be the great-great-grandfather of many, many people. People all over the world will learn about me because of you. And Jacob I will be with you. I am your God. I will take care of you. The next morning, Jacob woke up. He wasn't sure if he woke up because he wasn't sure if he had been sleeping, but he did remember what he had seen or dreamed. Jacob took the stone he had used for a pillow and he set it up on end. This place is special because I've seen God here, Jacob said to himself. I am going to call this place Bethel, which means the house of God. And from now on, I will give 1/10 of everything I own to God. The next morning, as Jacob walked along, he thought and thought about God's promise and about what kind of person God wanted him to be. Jacob still didn't know where Haran was. He was still alone and hungry. All he had were the clothes on his back and his walking stick. But somehow, Jacob felt much better after his strange experience the night before.